Alrighty, there we go. Hello, Opus family. Welcome to Water Cooler Wednesday. Give me just a second. Let me get things set up here and we'll get kicked off. All right. Hi, guys. Kayla here for Water Cooler Wednesday, and welcome. Sorry I'm a few minutes behind. Got stuck working on some things and looking ahead. So I want to, I hope everybody's week's going great. I'm still trying to finish up like my fourth cup of coffee. It's been that kind of morning, but 100% good with that. So I know that we've kicked off January, and we're at the end of January. I mean, tomorrow starts February, guys. We're in the second month, randomly on a Thursday. But I'm really excited to come to you guys and get this kind of set up as we keep going for this year in Water Cooler Wednesday. So if you are new here, my name's Kayla. I'm the client account consultant here at Opus Management. We are a business consulting firm that specializes in small to mid-sized businesses and finding technology solutions and helping you implement those like a large enterprise would, but without that cost, right? We realize that there's a big cost in a lot of these HR resources and social media management and ERPs, CRMs and project management software, things like that. There's a big cost at that, and a lot of the larger enterprises are set up better to handle that purely because they can absorb the cost. And we want to help you and your business kind of absorb some of that cost, function on a higher level without having to come out of pocket as much. So we talked, we kicked off the year talking about goals, setting those goals, planning, giving yourself really some SMART goals, making them measurable, taking the emotion out of it, being able to track where you're at so you can celebrate those wins. And coming back to those. So as we go into February, remember what you thought about at the beginning of January. What do you need to do this month that's going to get you closer to your goal for the end of the year? What is your goal for the quarter? Heck, what is your goal for this week, guys? Make sure you're looking at those. I know I'm continuing to work on mine and getting really specific and being able to measure to the point that I broke it down to what do I need to do, each week, each day to make sure that at the end of this year, I'm reaching my goals. And here's part of it. Then we kind of looked at some of the AHR resources that we offer here. We kind of walked through a live look through of our HR tracking and PTO or HR hiring, PTO tracking, and employee records options that we offer. How you can customize that, utilize that. And then we kind of looked into customers, defining your customer base and, how you gather some data around that so you can make smart business choices that then allow you to make those goals that you were looking at. So just a brief synopsis of what we've already looked at this year or this month on these Water Cooler Wednesdays. And today we're going to jump back to probably my favorite topic. And that is, still around that HR piece. We talked about customers. Now let's talk about your associates, your partners, your employees, whatever you want to call them, right? Your team members, your work family, whatever that is, and the hiring. So we looked at some solutions for the hiring process itself, like how do you track applicants, how do you move them through the system, what needs to be done earlier this month, and we can circle back to that probably. We'll go through that again like in March. You can always set up a demonstration with us on our website, opusmanagement.us, if you're looking for a good HR or hiring solution. We can help you there. But let's get specific around associates and employees and really making sure that you're building your team. So we got specific around what our customers are, what the need that we are filling, what our goals are. So now what do we need to do that? And hiring the right people is really key. I heard a long time ago, that that that's not what I heard. I had a CEO at one of the corporates that I worked for. She said that you can never call it a bad hire. Typically, you just didn't do your job, right? So there's always going to be turnover at some point, and you don't want that to be, we had to fire somebody because we didn't do our due diligence, or we didn't conduct a fair interview. But I think what we miss a lot is we start looking for people that have the experience we think that they need, that they need for a position. There's a lot of job descriptions out there, and I think probably a big pet peeve for everybody, and I know if you're in the job market, is we want somebody with a bachelor's that has 5 years experience, but it's an entry-level position. There's a ton of memes going around on LinkedIn and on Facebook about, entry-level position, but must have 5 years experience. Well, that gets very discouraging as someone looking for a job. And I think that in reality, especially in this day and age, that we have to be careful with that. So when we go to hire, when you go to post that job posting, or you go to look to expand your team, I think the first thing that you really have to sit down and think about is, what do you need? What are the specific traits, characteristics, skills that you are looking for? Because ensuring that you have the right fit for your team is probably better than ensuring that they have got the experience. Experience isn't the first thing that I, as a hiring manager, ever looked for. I've done a ton of hiring across my past, and my favorite thing was making sure that the personality fit. Because in my previous life, I had zero desire to go through vet tech school. I didn't want to go get my RVT. I was very afraid of needles. Did not want to go to be a veterinarian, like I thought I did. I learned that at like 12 years old, just as a side note. But I didn't want to do that. So if my first vet tech position had required, right, that I have some kind of experience, outside of my own animals, petting my dog and teaching it to sit, I would not have had any experience. But I got lucky, and I was hired on and taught the skills that I needed. I fit the team. I fit the role that they, the person that they needed, my availability, my personality, my skills outside of the technical skills fit what they were looking for. And I think that's something that we have to remember. So it was something that I took with me, right? I wanted people that wanted to help people when I started hiring. That's what I wanted. I can teach you the technical skills. I could teach, all the information that you needed to know to educate a client. I could teach those skills, but I could not teach basic personality. I could not teach showing up to work on time. I could not teach the want and the desire to help people, empathy, those kinds of things. I couldn't teach those. So that's what I looked for when I started, when I would start interviewing and hiring. I think that on occasion, and I have been, I myself have been plagued with this before, where I've just hired a body, right? Or I've hired somebody because their resume said they should have been a good fit. They had the experience, but they didn't fit with the rest of the team. So ultimately, they were not the right person for the position. Not that they were a bad hire; they would have probably been a good hire somewhere else. They just weren't the right hire for me. Their personality didn't fit with my management style. Their learning, the way that they learned, didn't fit with my teaching style. I have a very particular way that I would train associates, and a lot of people, and not a lot of people, but there were people that it didn't fit. There were personalities that don't mesh, well with others, and so knowing those kinds of things. So I think as a hiring manager, you have to start with, what are you looking for? What is the need of the company or the position? Like, what are you bringing somebody in for? Because if you bring in the right person, it's not going to cost you as much in the long run. You can then afford to pay them a little bit more, because if they're going to be with you long term and not leave you, then you're not having to train more people. You're not having to outsource another spot. If they like to take on other roles and positions and learn new things, then you can have that where they will take on projects and make life a little bit easier for you. Whether that's helping train someone else or moving on from there. So start thinking about not necessarily the experience, but what that person needs to possess, to complement you as their manager, and then also to complement your team. And ultimately, like, the basic technical skills you can train. And I think that's something that gets lost on occasion, right? And sadly, it's how it's always been done, and there's a lot of people that don't ask why, or don't question to understand, or aren't looking to rock the boat. They just accept what they've been told, and we're no longer in that position to be able to do that. So I challenge you as you're going through that. If you have questions, or you're stuck with where to go next or what you really need, we're here to help you with that. If you need to source more candidates, we're here to help you with, how are you sourcing candidates? Where are you looking? Which way are you going? What does your brand look like to potential employees? Are people steering clear of what you're offering because your brand is not, you're not on par with being a positive employer? Have you looked at Glassdoor? Have you seen your ratings on Glassdoor? Have you looked at your ratings on Indeed? As you go through Indeed, or as you go through LinkedIn, what is your presence like on LinkedIn? LinkedIn went a little more on the social side, right? Like, content was getting a little too personal. And we're going to be looking at a shift where it's going to get a lot more professional again. Right? Going there and seeing who you're following and what you're promoting and the things that you're doing. I recently just came across and, started looking at how do you promote other businesses within your niche that are hiring. Really making sure that you're sharing different gigs, whether they're looking for a freelancer, or they're looking for a part-time person, or a contract person, or they're looking for another business to help them. Like, are you monitoring businesses within your niche, within your scope of workability, that would help you connect with those people? Because really and truly, when we think about this kind of stuff, a lot of stuff is connection. It's connection with other people and who do you know. I revert back to what my comfort zone is, and that's the equine industry, right? Like, I love looking at horses on Facebook from do-it-yourselfers, right? Like, I would consider myself kind of a do-it-myselfer. I'm not with a trainer full-time. I don't have a horse at the trainer. Like, if I was going to sell my horse, I probably would be selling him myself. Or I would go to the horse trainers that I know and be like, hey, I've got this horse, he's for sale. That network piece, it would never be posted socially. Like, it wouldn't just be, hey, I'm going to put him out here and see what happens and have to field all of the tire kickers. I'm going to go through an expert in my field, right? I'm going to go through an influencer in that area. I kind of started thinking about the job hunting and recruiting like that. So if you know people that are hiring, or other recruiters, being part of their circle on LinkedIn is amazing. You will find opportunities that maybe you didn't know that was really your dream job. Maybe you didn't know that it was even an option. There's so much ability for us to find people that would bring in a new perspective and new opportunities that I think we overlook a lot because we do a lot of things the same way. We get stuck in that rut. We don't get outside of the box that we've either created or been told that this is how it does it. So don't limit yourself when you're looking at hiring with people that have the exact resume that you think would be best. So make sure that you take the time, look for the traits and values that you want to add to your team. Maybe somebody that thinks a little bit outside of the box that can get things done for you. Get some opinions from some others. Do some work on your LinkedIn and on your network, and find people, because people know people, right? People know people, and that's really what this is work and building communities and networks that will allow you to further and make other people's lives better. That's essentially what we're working for outside of a paycheck, right? But just a little bit of something different to think about, as you go through this and as you're looking, shoot us any questions that you want. We'd love for you guys to follow us on all of our social media platforms. We're basically on everything, whether that's YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. We would love to see you there. Let us know how we can help. If you find us on opusmanagement.us, which is our website, you can request a free discovery call where we can talk about your problems and some of the solutions that we offer for those problems. And that'll let us kind of work through what you've got going on and how we can help. And we will talk with you guys next Wednesday. I look forward to seeing you back. Have a great rest of your day. And go knock